What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my Samsung Galaxy A31 review. So let's get started. So this is my Samsung Galaxy A31 review. If you're new to the channel, definitely hit that sub button. Now, this device was recently launched, and I've really been looking forward to it. It is technically the successor to the Galaxy A30, which was launched last year, but we also got the Galaxy A30s that came in between this phone and that phone. So Samsung has been very busy with expanding their growing A series of phones, and they've all been very fantastic, especially the 2020 launches. I've already really liked the Galaxy A51 and A71, so going into this, I already had really high expectations for the Samsung Galaxy A31. Now, this phone is currently available at around $250, but definitely take a look at the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing for the phone, as I'd imagine that over time, the price will continue to go down. Now, this phone is the factory unlocked GSM variant of the device, and it's the international variant of the phone. So you can use this all over the world, including the United States, where I'm located. I've been using this phone with Cricket Wireless, and the process of getting things set up was super easy. All I had to do was take my activated Cricket SIM, put it into the phone, and I was immediately able to use calls, send texts, and of course, use data. And Cricket, of course, is based off of AT&T's network, so if you use AT&T or T-Mobile, you will be able to use this phone with no issues at all. Now, the device is also dual SIM, and not only is it dual SIM, but we have dedicated dual SIM slots in addition to the microSD card slot. So some phones share the secondary SIM card slot with the microSD card slot, so you have to choose one way or the other, but that's not the case with this phone. You can put two SIM cards and a microSD card into the slot, so that is really awesome. Now, the device features a 6.4-inch display. The display itself is Super Amoled. It's a 1080p display. We're getting a PPI of 411, so a very crisp and clear display on the phone. We're getting a 20:9 aspect ratio, so kind of a more narrow but tall form factor. And we're getting an 84.9% screen-to-body ratio, so a pretty decent screen-to-body ratio overall too. But I'm very impressed with the display on this phone. You can probably already tell through the video how bright it is, and it really does look fantastic. Especially compared to more expensive devices like the iPhone 11, which has a pretty low resolution 720p display. This display really does look nice. Now, here is the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, which is one of the top of the line phones from Samsung. And you can see with these two displays side by side, of course, with no doubt, the Ultra has a better display, but the display looks very bright and very vibrant as well with the A31. And then, of course, with it being 6.4 inches, it is a very large display, so that's excellent for content consumption. Now, at the top of the phone, you can see we do get a notch, and that's one of the things that Samsung has been moving away from in 2020. But for the A31, we do get one, but that doesn't bother me too much because the notch is very tiny. Now, on the bottom of the phone, we do have a little bit of a thicker bottom bezel, so that is one of the compromises that you do have to make by going with this phone compared to maybe a more higher end A-series phone, such as the A51. But I still think it's a great looking device. Now, this is the Prism Crush White variant of the phone. You can also get it in Prism Crush Black and Prism Crush Blue. Now, up top here in the notch, we have a 20 megapixel front-facing camera, and later on in this video, I will be showing you some photo and video samples from it. Now, this is the 128 gigabyte variant of the phone. It's also available at 64 gigs, and you can save some money by going that route, but I personally recommend going with 128 gigs. Nowadays, with apps getting bigger and bigger, which I'm sure you've noticed, 128 gigs is gonna set you up for more longevity. Now, of course, you can add a microSD card into the phone, but nothing beats the good old-fashioned internal storage. So I would recommend going for the 128 gig model, and then if you feel that it's necessary, go ahead and purchase a microSD card to even further expand the storage here. Now, the phone does not have wireless charging, which is a bit unfortunate, but we do get a fingerprint sensor with the phone. And not only that, but the fingerprint sensor is built into the display. So it's nice and quick and accurate. I've had very good experience with it, so certainly no reason to be concerned there. And you also have the ability to unlock the phone via face unlock if you choose to go that route. Now, of course, you can set up both the fingerprint sensor and face unlock if you want to do both, or you could pick one or the other. Now, on the back of the device, we have a quad camera setup. So we're getting a 48 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera, and a 5 megapixel macro camera. So from my experience of using the phone, and again, a little bit later in the video, I'll show you some photo and video samples from all the cameras, but the phone really does have nice cameras, especially for its price. Now, it is cool that we are getting 48 megapixels for the main camera, of course. I'm really glad too that we are getting an ultra wide angle camera with the phone. That's really cool if you want to take photos of scenery, buildings, maybe even a large group of people. That's great for the ultra wide angle camera. And then of course the depth sensing camera is excellent for portrait mode. Now we do get portrait mode with both the front and rear cameras on the phone. And then of course there is also the macro camera that does provide you with the ability to take really close-up pics. Now this device features 4 gigabytes of RAM in the MediaTek Helio P65. So it's interesting that Samsung has chosen to go with MediaTek for the processor that this phone has. Whereas with other A-series phones that have come out this year, such as the A51, which has a Samsung Exynos processor, and the A71, which has a Qualcomm processor, it seems like Samsung is really diversifying things with the processors that they do include with their A-series phones. Now, if you do have a bad taste in your mind about MediaTek, you should really rethink things. The company has come a long way in a very short period of time, and their Helio line of processors are actually quite good. I've used, prior to this phone, devices with the MediaTek P60 and P70, and those have been great experiences. And the P65 is also a very solid processor. Now, I did run an Antutu benchmark test with the device, and I got an overall score here of, wait for it, 149,434. So pretty solid score there overall. Certainly for the majority of people out there, it will get the job done. Now, of course, compared to flagship devices like the Galaxy S20 Ultra, you are getting a much better score with a device like this. And of course, I know a lot of people like to say, the scores don't matter. It's real life usage that does matter. And of course, that makes sense. My real life experience with using this phone has been good. It's not the fastest ever out there, but it certainly does get the job done. And like I said, for the majority of people out there that maybe aren't quite power users, but still do like to get quite a bit of usage out of their device, will be completely satisfied with the performance with the A31. But you can see, comparing these scores, the Ultra has a much higher score. I mean, you're going to be getting significantly better performance with the Ultra, but of course, it's $1,000 extra. But I just wanted to kind of show you this here so that you get an idea and a perspective here for what this score really means. Now, video recording maxes out at 1080p at 30 FPS with both the front and rear cameras. I believe that's one of the limitations of the Helio P65 is that it doesn't support 4K video recording. So that's a bit unfortunate considering that other devices such as the A51 do support 4K, but I'd imagine that most people out there are completely fine with taking videos in 1080p. I know that for me personally, I will rarely take video in 4K, even with devices that do support it. Now, I hope you're ready for this. The Galaxy A31 features a beefy 5,000, yes, you heard that right, 5,000 milliamp hour internal battery. And you can recharge it with a 15-watt fast charger that is included in the box. So that's a very beefy battery. That's one of the biggest batteries that I've used in a phone in a long time. So that's very impressive. So expect to get very good battery life with the A31. Now, this phone does feature Android 10 out of the box. And that's really good news because Samsung typically will give their budget phones at least one major software update. So without a doubt, this phone will eventually get Android 11, and expect the phone to also get occasional security patches. Now, at the time of me recording this video, the phone has the March 1st, 2020 patch, but let's cross our fingers for consistent security patches in the future. Now, the device does run Samsung's One UI 2.0, which is their skin that they have laid over Android 10. And overall, I'm very happy with the performance of this skin. Sometimes some of the overlays that manufacturers add do make the devices slower, but I feel like this device is very well optimized to work great with the processor and RAM. Another cool thing too about One UI 2.0 is that this software is present on the majority of Samsung's devices that they've launched this year. So you'll get many of the features that you know and love, even with Samsung's flagships, such as the App Edge. So in many ways, this phone feels like a flagship, considering that you get a great display, you get many of the premium software features that make Samsung stand out, and it's just a really nice looking phone. Now getting more into the hardware here, this display again is a great looking display. You're getting excellent viewing angles with it too, which is something that can't be said for LCD displays. So props to Samsung for giving the Galaxy A31 a Super AMOLED display. Now taking a look at the left side of the phone, we just have the slot for the micro SD card and SIM cards. This is an all plastic build, by the way. So this is actually a plastic band going around the phone. And then on the back, they call this material Glastic, but it really is just a high-end plastic material. It looks a lot like glass. I think many people might suspect it is by just glancing at it, but it is indeed plastic. So if you do want to keep your phone scratch-free, you might want to consider going for a case. Now thankfully, since this is a Samsung device, manufacturers from all over the place have already created a variety of different cases, and you can find those online. So you're gonna have no problem getting a great case, getting a great screen protector for this phone. Now taking a look at the right side of the phone, we have the power button and volume button. Then on the top, we have the noise canceling microphone. Then on the bottom, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. We have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer. We have the microphone, and we have the speaker. Now in my hands-on video, I showed you already what comes in the box, but I figured for the review, I would just throw this in there too. So here is the box that the phone does come in. I do wish they didn't include this ugly sticker on the front, but it is what it is. But that's about it that's on the box. Now, opening up the box, we have quite a bit of cool items included inside. So we have a smaller packet here, and inside of that, we have the quick start guide in both English and Spanish, and we also have a warranty card. And then we have a clear plastic case included. So I'm happy to see that they have included this case. It is a nice thing to have, but it's certainly not going to offer your device nearly as much protection as a higher end option would. Also included in the box is the 15-watt adaptive fast charger. We also have a SIM card removal tool. We have headphones, and we have a USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. So all the essentials really are included here in the box. I just can't talk enough about how great this display looks. You can see how great the colors are on these various icons, for example. The display on here really is incredible for a phone in this price range. This device works really well with Instagram, so you're gonna get great performance here. Nice, smooth scrolling, so that's really great. You can easily like different pictures from your friends. You can go into your stories and see what's going on here. So excellent performance with that. You can also swipe over, of course, and take photos and videos. So I'm recording a video right now with the Samsung Galaxy A31. So that's really sweet. So definitely a solid social media device. And one of the advantages of having a 20:9 aspect ratio is that you can fit more of your feed here into the frame. Whereas with wider devices, you might be able to see just one post at a time. Here you can see at least a post and a half. The phone is great for browsing the web. You can see things are very smooth here with scrolling. You can easily go to different articles. Text looks really clear here too. You can pinch to zoom nice and smoothly as well. So an excellent phone for reading things, that's for sure. Now taking a look at the back side of the phone, despite this phone being several years old, it does feature an ultra wide angle camera. So the experience watching YouTube videos with the Samsung Galaxy A31 is really good. Videos do look nice and crisp and clear. Of course, you can crop in if you want a more immersive experience. Maybe the only downside with this is that we just have sound coming out of the speaker on the side, which is to be expected, but I know I've used other phones in the past where they also have sound that comes out of the earpiece. So that's certainly not a deal breaker, but maybe something that Samsung could improve on in the next generation. So call quality is really good with the device, as you'd expect from Samsung. They have a long reputation and history with creating so many different phones, so they really have this stuff down by now. But if you are someone that does make a lot of phone calls, then don't worry, the A31 will serve you very well. Same thing for text messages, those are nice and quick too. So overall, I'm very satisfied with the call quality and the text message speed from this phone. Now, I've been very impressed with the photo and video quality from the Samsung Galaxy A31. The only thing is that I feel like the macro camera, well, it does work, is kind of unnecessary because you can take close-up pics with the main camera with no issues at all. Another thing that I wish was different here with the macro camera is that with other phones, like the Moto G Stylus, for example, which also has a macro camera, it will automatically switch over to that camera when you are trying to take a close-up photo. Whereas with the A31, you have to manually go into the macro mode to use that camera. So that's going to result in you really using that camera a lot less, especially when you can get away with taking most close-up pictures with the standard camera anyway. Colors are really great with this device. You're going to be able to take great looking photos and videos. I'll show you some video samples in a second here. And the ultra wide angle camera is a great thing to have on here as well. So for the majority of people out there, I think they're going to be very satisfied, if not very surprised, by how great the camera quality is with this phone. And it's really great, especially for a phone in this price range. Now let's take a look at some video samples. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with a front-facing test video from the Samsung Galaxy A31. So definitely let me know what you think of the quality from the device. So far, I'm liking it a lot. Now, we are kind of in the early evening right now, so it's not direct sunlight. The sun is kind of setting at this point, just to kind of let you know about lighting. But also let me know what you think about the microphone quality from the device. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with a ultra wide angle video from the Samsung Galaxy A31, and this is in 1080p. So with the ultra wide camera, of course things are really wide, but there is no autofocus, or at least minimal autofocus. But that's not what this mode's for, obviously. This mode is for capturing more content in the frame than you normally would. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and here is a 1080p rear video test from the Samsung Galaxy A31. So let me know what you think of the quality from the device. And we do have autofocus in video mode. Do another close-up here. But I'm really curious to know what you think about the quality from the device. So in conclusion, is the Samsung Galaxy A31 worth buying? Is it a good choice? Well, in my opinion, I think it really is. Now, Samsung has so many A-series phones that have already come out and will continue to come out this year. I know there's also going to be the A41, there's the A21, A11. Of course, I've already talked a lot about the A51, which is actually recording this video right now. So you are going to have a lot of options as a consumer. But really how this phone stands out, in my opinion, is that it does have a very large battery, and you're getting a lot of storage at 128 gigs for the price. You're also getting a very excellent looking display here too, and you'd really think when using this phone is that the device is hundreds of dollars more expensive than it really is. So Samsung really nailed things with the A31. This might actually be one of my favorite A-series phones yet. I'm sure though, as more of them come out, there will be plenty of other great ones too. But I'm very happy with the device. I will definitely continue to recommend it to people. I would say the only reason to not get this phone is if you can find the A51 for around the same price. I know that right now, the A51 is only like 20 or 30 bucks more than the A31. So if you don't mind spending that extra money, I would get the A51 instead of this phone. But if you do go with this phone, I think you'll be very happy with it. You know, it's an excellent device, and especially if you have a phone right now that has bad battery life, this will be a very refreshing upgrade. But I hope you enjoyed this video about the Samsung Galaxy A31. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to sub to the channel. Take a look at the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing for the phone. But this is Kevin here, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks everybody, and have a great day.